Alright, it's your boy June 5th, June Money, and I'm back getting to the money. Did Hips just admit that the documentary was fake? Did Hips just admit that Mindy was high and made up all these stories? Let's get into it.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You know,
And that's wrong. If his daddy, if he still had his daddy around him, he would kill a son bitch for doing his daddy like that.
fuck yeah.
So why would you want to do some other man's mama that way?
Makes no sense. Makes no
I mean,
sense.
I may have been to prison, and I may be a hardened ass convict, and you're gonna get the truth out of me. I don't give a damn if you like it or not. If you don't want to know it, you ain't got no business asking me. So, and that's the way I've been all my life, man. But I know right from wrong, and I can walk around this neighborhood still.
There in so I can see her just like how you explained her that she was giving you the world, she was giving you the vending machine, she was giving you anything in that commissary room to get you
Right,
comfortable.
right.
So what would make somebody
More
more
comfortable
comfortable
to
to
disclose what really
disclose what
happened
really
to them.
happened to them?
Now, Noel, welcome to Texas Podcast, is saying that the people that was working for Jonathan Schwartz gave all of them drugs and alcohol to loosen them up to tell these stories. So now you're saying that they production team is part of a scandal? Now you saying Jonathan Schwartz's credibility is not what it is? You saying that they use bribery of drugs and alcohol in a correctional facility to coerce people to make these statements? Is this is what you're saying, Noel? Let's continue.
Other than some substance.
You're right.
Break that barrier down, get them
But now
comfortable.
I will say this also, right? Men is all drink like a fish.
Oh,
He drank.
yeah. And the thing is, man,
The whiskey they made was specific
Nah, Noel, stop cutting him off, Noel. Let him tell on Mindy, bro. Let him tell on Mindy.
for them to drink.
oh, so they wanted high proof.
Yeah, I mean to this day, I will say this about Mark. This how I know that he can be a salt.
So Mindy was high and drunk during the filming of the documentary, and he made up all these stories and came up with all this stuff, right? That's what we saying, right? This is what David Mendenhall's sister is saying, and this is what Hips is saying. Let's continue.
Solid motherfucker, Rob. To this day, because I did my own thing. I was the one who had the money, right?
Yeah.
I brought my own. I did my own. I brought my own. I got my own. I know everybody that fucking works up there. I'm that's where I'm from, right?
Yeah.
So I got my own, and to this day, Mark's the only one that ever knew that. He never told it to nobody.
Now he giving Mark credibility as a person. Now he's saying that Mark could have told people this, that, and the third about him, but he didn't. Now he's saying that Mark is solid. Which one is it, bro? Is he a liar or is he solid? But let's continue.
Now that lets me know, Mark, more that you can be a solid motherfucker. What happened?
Oh, he's solid. Okay.
What happened, man? You letting the lies and deceit come in your head. It's not the other way around. Because look, man, the worst thing in the world you could possibly do, and I'm trying to talk you out of it, man, is talk to his sister for God's sake. Man, that woman's lost her brother.
Mark do not need to talk to his sister, bro. Mark do not need to talk to David Mendenhall's sister. What are they gonna get out of that conversation? They not gonna get nothing out of that conversation. What's the point of Mark talking to David Mendenhall's sister, bro? She can't tell whether Mark was actually doing this, that, and the third unless her brother told her that, but she never said that, bro. But let's continue.
She's grieving, and you know it in your heart. All you and him, Dante, is gonna do is get that woman on stage and bash her about, oh, you did this, and oh, you knew this, and you brought this. That ain't none of nobody's business, man. That woman ain't did nothing.
No, that's a lie. Why would Dante and Mark get on there and bash her? There's no point of bashing her. The only reason why I could see Mark and David Mendenhall's sister talking is to be like, oh, yeah, did David ever tell you that I did X, Y, and Z to him? That's it. All of the bashing and this, that, and the third, y'all just trying to deflect, bro. That's it. Y'all trying to make sure Dante and Mark never talk to David Mendenhall's sister. Cause y'all know that's gonna expose the truth. But let's continue.
No, you at all. Let that go, man. Don't do that lady like that. She don't deserve it, and you know better. Dante, you do too, man. It's wrong. Don't do that shit.
No, I told her not to get on no other platform, man, because they're gonna misinterpret her words, and they're gonna try to mix up her words, and then she's gonna get it more grieving. So it's more like she's done.
No, that's not why. You trying to hide her from the people that's gonna actually ask the real questions. You trying to hide her and stop her from hearing the truth. That's why you feed her certain stuff. You say, "Oh yeah," in the documentary, Mark said this about your brother and that about your brother, so she can feel some type of way. But you never tell her how Mark actually feels about her brother. You never tell her that Mark is always respectful when talking about her brother. You never tell her that Mark was protecting her brother. You make it seem like Mark was this monster to her brother, because I'm sure she hasn't been watching from day one and she hasn't seen exactly what Mark said. So you feeding it to her head. That's why I said, Noel, you can get other people with your manipulation tactics, but I'm not one of them. Let's continue.
Done said her piece, and there's no that's why the only one that can go back and forth with Mark, man, is you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm about this close right here to just washing my hands of that whole thing. Because when I get tired of talking about it, I'm just gonna, hey man, yeah. I'm done talking about that bullshit. Let's move on to something else. Fuck.
Exactly, man. Mark, but Mark, he's over there. He's calling this girl out of her name. Calling her.
It's wrong. It is wrong, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
More lies. He never called her out of her name. He lying, bro. This all Noel do is a bunch of manipulation tactics. Mark never called her out of her name. Let's continue.
He should at least apologize to her and be like, "Oh yeah, you do look familiar." But that was, stop trying to discredit her, man. A handshake is.
If she don't look familiar to him, she don't look familiar to him. How you gonna tell Mark who looked familiar to him? Like, if he never saw this lady, he never saw her. Why are you trying to force a story? It don't make sense. You trying to make the people believe that Mark is delusional and everything that comes off of your podcast or your platform is the truth. But let's continue, bro.
It's just a gesture, man, that everybody does. Nobody gains nothing from it. Nobody loses nothing from it. And what is so bad from saying, yes, I shook the man's hand?
You're right. What's so bad about that? Yeah, I shook the man. I met him. I shook his hand. My brother introduced me.
Nah, what's bad about it is now you're going to try to use that to say, oh, yeah, I know. Oh, I shook this man's hand and he was still doing this to my brother. It's a sob story. Like, come on, bro. You using manipulation tactics, bro. That's all you doing. That's all you doing. None of this is proof that Mark is guilty.
me to him as his friend. So I greeted my brother's friend.
Not knowing that he was a sexual deviant.
Yeah. Not knowing about any of this other shit. I didn't greet any of this other shit. I greeted my brother's friend.
That's
And
it.
this is how you're going to come at me all these years later.
See, that's why. That what Hips just said right there is exactly why Mark he denying knowing her, seeing her, anything. Because now you're gonna try to use that and say exactly what I just said. Oh yeah, this is my brother's friend, and you shook my hand at the visitation yard. Like, you gonna try to get sympathy out of it. So nah, Mark don't know her. Mark did not meet her. Mark said he didn't see her or shake her hand, bro. And you're mad about that. You're mad about that. You want Mark to admit to something that he don't gotta admit to, bro. If he never did none of this stuff, or he never met this person, that person, he don't gotta admit to it. Straight up. Straight up. All manipulation tactics, bro.